What is good, guys? Welcome back to another video where today we'll be speaking about the Premier League Game Week 38 predictions. So let's get straight into the first game, which will be Aston Villa versus Brighton. It's going to be an exciting game. So let's start with Aston Villa. They missed out on the Europa League, unfortunately, but they still have been doing a great job due to Emery. Credit to him. And Watkins has been very good recently as well. And I definitely see improvement in this team. So hopefully they continue to improve into next season as well. In the last 5 games, they have 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. And they sit in 7th place. On to Brighton. They did qualify for European football, Europa League football. They clinched it. And De Zerbi, incredible what he's done with Brighton. Like, the team plays such good football. It's so entertaining to watch, and great players on that team as well. They have Caicedo, McAllister as well, who are both being looked at by big clubs. And in the last 5 games, they have 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. And they sit in 6th place. And my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Brighton. Now we have a Southampton versus Liverpool. It's going to be a fairly easy game for Liverpool. So let's start with Southampton. They've been horrific this season, if I'm being totally honest. Already confirmed they are relegated, and I could see their star players leaving. So curious to see how they do in the championship next season. And the last 5 games, they lost all 5. And they sit in 20th place, so bottom of the table. And then on to Liverpool. They've picked up some form. Credit to Klopp for trying new things. And Trent in his new role is just incredible. Very, very good player in that new role. And Yakpo has had a decent first season for himself. So in the last 5 games, they have 4 wins, a draw, and they sit in 5th place. And my prediction is going to be a 4-0 win for Liverpool. Arsenal versus Wolves is the next matchup we will be speaking about. And I could see this game being pretty close. So let's start with Arsenal. They did bottle the league, or like choke the league if you want to say that. They still had a pretty good season in my opinion. They do need to strengthen the team in the summer, and Xhaka could be leaving to Bayer Leverkusen, I believe. And in the last 5 games, they have 2 wins and 3 losses, which isn't too good for a team like them, and they sit in 2nd place. On to Wolves. Lopetegui has done a pretty decent job with this team. He took them out of the relegation zone, and Ruben Neves is being looked at by clubs like, I believe, Barcelona. And this is a totally different Wolves side from the past. I believe in the past they were in like mid-table, like 7th, 8th, like places like that. And in the last 5 games, they have 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. And they sit in 13th place at the moment. And my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Arsenal. United versus Fulham. Definitely a game I will watch myself. So let's start with Man United. They've been in pretty good form this season. Ten Hag has done a very, very good job with this team, and he's brought in Lisandro, Varane, and also Casemiro, who they've been very important to the team, and they do play some very nice football. So let's talk about their last 5 games, they have won 3 and they lost 2, and they sit in 4th place at the moment. On to Fulham, they've been pretty decent this year. Marco Silva has done a great job with this team, and Palhinha has been very solid in that midfield, like CDM position, and their form has picked up recently. In 5 games, they have 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses, and they sit in 10th place at the moment. And my prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Leicester versus West Ham, a huge game for Leicester, and this Leicester team's struggling, honestly, this season. They have conceded 67 goals this season, and they could go down or get relegated as well. And in the last 5 games, they have 3 draws and 2 losses, and they sit in 18th place. On to West Ham, they've been surprisingly better recently. Bowen has been turning up, and Moyes maybe changed his tactics a little bit, and it's been working as well. And Rice could be leaving the club in the summer. He's linked with clubs like Arsenal, I believe Man U, possibly Chelsea. And in the last 5 games, they have 2 wins and 3 losses, and they sit in 14th place at the moment. And my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for West Ham. Now, Leeds versus Tottenham. This is a very important game for Leeds. So let's start with Leeds. This is a must-win game. As I said, they have to win this game if they want to stay in the Premier League. And they've been struggling a lot recently. They could get relegated, and they're not in too good form recently. In the last 5 games, they have 2 draws and 3 losses, and they sit in 19th place at the moment. On to Tottenham, another team struggling quite a bit recently, and they could not get into a spot for European football. In my opinion, Kane should leave the club if he wants to win some trophies, and the club's kind of a mess, so it's not looking good for them. In the last 5 games, they have 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses, and they sit in 8th place. And my prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Well, Everton versus Bournemouth. Everton, this is a must-win game for them, and let's start with Everton. They're fighting to stay up as well. They haven't been too good this season. They scored last second against Wolves to secure a point for them, and McNeil has been pretty decent in the recent matches, and in the last 5 games they have 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses, and they sit in 17th place. On to Bournemouth. They've been not too bad. Billing is a key player for them, and they put together some nice plays in the past few games, really nice 1-2 plays, some nice tiki-taka. And they dropped form recently though. In the last 5 games they have 2 wins and 3 losses, and they sit in 15th place. And my prediction is going to be a 2-0 win for Everton. Crystal Palace versus Forest. Forest need a result here. Actually, no, they don't, because they have stayed up due to their win against Arsenal. Now let's start with Crystal Palace. They have great talent in this team, such as a very talented player, and also Elise, incredible youngsters. And Hudson has done a great job with this team. They're playing some nice football. In the last 5 games, they have 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. To Forest. So they secured staying in the Prem They actually beat Arsenal 1-0 in the last match, and it was a painful loss for me. And Iwani has come in and he has been scoring almost every game. I believe he's back from injury, and they worked really hard against Arsenal, and they played better, so they deserve that win. And they sit in 16th place at the moment, and in the last 5 games, they have 3 wins, a draw, and a loss. And my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw between the two sides. Now Chelsea versus Newcastle. Nothing to play for in this game in my opinion, so let's start with Chelsea. Not a good season for a club like them. They spent 600 mil and they're not doing too well. No European football, and they're still in need of a striker. So in the last 5 games, they have 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses, and they sit in 12th place. On to Newcastle. They have been impressive for me this season. They have qualified for the Champions League, and that's huge for the club. They could attract bigger names now and sign bigger names as well. And Trippier has probably been the best right back in the Premier League this season. That's in my opinion. And a huge credit to Eddie Howe. He's really done a great job with this team. And in the last 5 games, they have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. And they sit in 3rd place. And my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Newcastle. Now the last match we have is Brentford versus Man City. This should be a decent game for both sides. So let's start with Brentford. They've been in really good form recently. They're playing well even without Tony due to his ban. And Mbeumo has been stepping up recently. Very, very good for them. And a underrated team for sure this season. In their last 5 games, they have 4 wins and 1 loss, and they sit in 9th place. On to Man City. They've been insane this season, like incredible. Congrats to them on the 3 Premier League titles in a row, and they still have a Champions League to play, Champions League final, and a FA Cup final as well. And they probably will win the treble, in my opinion, and they play such incredible football. It's incredible to watch. And in the last 5 games, they have 4 wins and a draw. So they sit in 1st place as well. Obviously, they did win the title. So congrats again. And my prediction is going to be a 4-2 win for Man City. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.